Hey guys, Coffin here to do my post-Oscars 2017 video. I did decide to put a jacket because, I don't know, I felt like I looked a little frumpy with just my shirt on. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, all through the night during the Oscars, I was Instagram storing snapshots and little thoughts, and I was kind of tweeting too through the night a little bit. Um, and there's some stuff still up on on Instagram and Twitter and stuff that you can see if you missed it and want to know what I was putting out in the moment. But I'm gonna go ahead and put a couple disclaimers on this video right up front so that everyone is on the same page. Number one, this is going to be a longer video because I'm going to be talking about the whole night. So I'm not going to be putting like time codes or anything like that. You're welcome to watch the whole thing. If you don't, then that's cool too. Feel free to skip through and find what you want. I'm using I'm gonna tell you what I'm going to do. I use the Vanity Fair ballot. So I'm gonna start at the last column and go all the way up to the first one. So that'll kind of give you an idea of how I'm doing this video. And there was something else I wanted to mention, but I can't remember what it is. If I think of it, I will say it. But yeah, I guess another thing I can say is I'm going to be doing stuff like this every Oscars every year. The Oscars is my Super Bowl. It's the one time of the year that I look forward to more than not. I probably won't like live stream or do anything like that because I'm a fan of the night, and so I like to watch the in between stuff that Collider Video does, and I like to pay attention to like what other people are thinking. But I do post through the night and stuff, and so if you're curious about what I think next Oscars, just keep an eye out for that. And I'll always be from here on out. I'll always be doing one of these videos that you're watching now, where I re-talk about the night and all of that kind of stuff. Um, yeah. Oh, I know what the other thing I wanted to talk about is. I want to talk about what happened at the end first, the whole debacle. We're not going to talk about that until we get to the end of the video. So if you want to hear my thoughts on that, you'll just skip through to the end, and that's when we're going to talk about it because the best picture is the last award. So let's jump on in. And don't mind me, I've got a little bit of a snack and a drink, so I might be taking drinks. This is going to be really casual. I'm going to be doing this like I'm talking to a friend, to a friend. So just relax and here are my thoughts. So there are 24 awards, and I got 12 right. I got half. So I didn't do too great. Um, you know, but I posted this on Instagram, and I pretty much said it was like I kind of voted half and half. I voted half what I wanted to win and half what I thought would win, and so that I feel like that shows the fact that I got half. I think shows I voted half and I got half. So here we go. Let's start with the last one. The last one on the paper is the animated short, which Piper won, which was the animated short that played before Finding Dory. And I actually thought it was really cute. I really liked that short. I think that was by far one of Pixar's best shorts that they've ever done. The visuals, the story was really cute. I thought it was really good. The next one is the animated feature, which I voted for Moana. I'm a big fan of Moana, and I really wanted to see it take it. And but Zootopia won, and I figured if Moana didn't win, that Zootopia was probably going to be the one to take it. But and I'll be honest, this is really good. Sorry, it was so good I couldn't talk anymore. Um, 'Cause I didn't snack or anything during the Oscars because I didn't want to miss anything. That's how paranoid I am about the event. Um, I did not see My Life as a Zucchini or The Red Turtle. I I actually didn't start hearing anything about My Life as a Zucchini until just a few weeks ago. Um, but I heard lots about The Red Turtle, and I heard that it was really good. So I do want to go back and watch those two films. But I actually got to see all three of the other films in the theater. Kubo is by far one of my favorite animated movies of all time after seeing it. I loved Zootopia. I just didn't feel like it was good enough to win. I felt like I applauded them for tackling topics that you wouldn't expect a Disney movie to talk about or cover. But because of it being so centralized to that, I felt like there were other aspects of the movie that faltered and wasn't as good as it could have been. And for that, and I just really enjoyed Moana more as a movie than I did Zootopia. I went and saw Zootopia in the theater, and then I watched it once it got put on Netflix, and I really enjoyed the movie. I mean, I laughed and it had a good message and it moved me, but it just, there was still that disconnect of, it's not as good as Moana. I mean, with Moana, it has that classic Disney feel, It's like, it's got all the songs and everything else. So I was disappointed about that. The next was production design. La La Land won. I figured it would. The only other one that I would have wanted to win this was Arrival, because I thought Arrival was such a beautiful film, and it was such a great movie that I would have loved to see Arrival get it. But I knew La La Land was going to get quite a few awards, and when you're looking at the different categories and stuff, it felt natural to me that with all the visuals and all of the things in La La Land, that would be one that they would get it for, and they did. So I was happy that my line of thinking paid off for that one. The next one was the documentary Short Subject. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I did not see any of these, and I guessed correctly. The White Helmets won. There was Extremis, 41 or 4.1 miles, Joe's Violin, and Watani, My Homeland. Yeah, I didn't know anything about any of these, and I just felt like the White Helmets sounded like a cool name, and I did kind of figure it was about like the people that it ended up being about, like the people that go and help people and dig them out of debris and stuff, and I felt like in today's culture that would be something that a lot of people would, especially in the climate that we live in too, with, well, not to get political, but with other things going on, I figured it would be one people would vote for. Again, don't mind me. Feel free to go get snacks yourself. We'll snack together. Big bite. The next one was documentary feature, which I've seen two of these movies. There was Fire at Sea, I'm Not Your Negro, Life Animated, OJ Made in America, and 13th. I had seen Life Animated and 13th, and both of them I thought were incredible. Obviously, neither of them won. I voted for Life Animated because that's the one that I watched the most recently, and I loved that movie. It was such a great window into the life of an autistic person and understanding more about autism, that I really wanted it to win for that reason. But it didn't, and I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I'm not as fascinated with the whole OJ trial and case and everything that went on as like a lot of people are. They just put the FX series up on Netflix, so I might go through that at some point. But the fact that this thing that OJ Made in America is like 7 hours long, I just don't know if I'd be interested in watching something that long. And I'm usually not one of those people. Usually, if it's a good story and it's done in a particular way, I'll enjoy it. But that's just one that, I don't know, for whatever reason, it does not appeal to me. So there's that. But it won, and you know that's cool. Um, Costume design: Allied, Fantastic Beasts, and Where to Find Them, Florence Foster Jenkins, Jackie, and La La Land. I voted for Florence Foster Jenkins. I feel like that movie is a movie that has utterly underlooked. Um, you know, I went into watching this movie just because just because Meryl Streep is my favorite actress, and I will watch anything she's in. But I didn't know anything about her, the character, or the situation, or anything like that. But just from the visuals and the costumes that everybody wore, the aesthetic that was there, I found it to be really gorgeous, and just it put me in that time period, and all that kind of stuff. And but Fantastic Beasts won. Who would have ever thought that a movie in the Harry Potter universe would have won a Academy Award? And that's cool. I didn't vote for that because I didn't think there was any chance of winning. I thought it was going to be between Florence and La La Land, and Fantastic Beasts took it. So hey, all the power. Well, the next one was adapted screenplay, which were between Arrival, Fences, Hidden Figures, Lion, and Moonlight. I voted for Moonlight, and it ended up winning, which I was really, really happy about, because we'll talk about it. Well, I'll wait to say what I'm going to say until we get to the Best Picture category. The next one is original screenplay, which I really wanted Hell or High Water to win. So that's what I voted for. But the screenplay nominees were Hell or High Water, La La Land, The Lobster, Manchester by the Sea, and 20th Century Women. And Manchester by the Sea ended up taking it. And I've been very vocal about this on Twitter and Instagram. And I wasn't a huge fan of Manchester by the Sea. It's actually my least favorite of the nominated films. I did not like it at all. I found it boring and droll. I did not connect with any of the characters whatsoever. But that's all I'm going to say right now, because we'll get more into it when we get to the Best Picture and the bigger awards and everything. Sound editing, it was between Arrival, Deepwater Horizon, Hacksaw Ridge, La La Land, and Sully. I voted for Arrival, and it ended up winning. It deserved it. Original song, Audition from La La Land, Can't Stop the Feeling from Trolls, City of Stars, La La Land, The Empty Chair, from Jim, the James Foley story, and How Far I'll Go from Moana. I voted for Audition, and I'm sorry if you've seen La La Land and you're a fan of it. I think we can all agree that Audition is the song that should have won, because this song is fucking incredible. But City of Stars won, so La La Land still basically won, so it's alright, I guess. Original score, La La Land won. I don't really think I need to go into anything more than that. Visual effects, I voted for Jungle Book, and it won. I think if any other film would have won, I think it would have been a travesty. For sound mixing, Arrival, Hacksaw Ridge, La La Land, Rogue One, and 13 Hours. I voted for Rogue One because I'm like, it's Star Wars. I want to see it win something, but Hacksaw Ridge took it, and I'm okay with that. Short film live action, we've got Time Code, Sing, Silent Nights, La Femme et la TGV, and Animus Interiors. I don't know how to pronounce that, but short film live action. This was another one where I just guessed, and I ended up being correct, and Sing won. Cool. Film editing, I voted for La La Land. The nominees were Moonlight, La La Land, Hell or High Water, Hacksaw Ridge, or Arrival. Hacksaw Ridge took it. And it definitely deserves it. I mean, it's not anything like that. Cinematography, Arrival, La La Land, Lion, Moonlight, and Silence. Now, I haven't seen Silence, but I can guarantee you that any single one of these movies would have deserved it, in my opinion. I voted for La La Land because it's La La Land, and it won. Makeup and hairstyling, A Man Called Ove. I think that's how they pronounce it, Uwe. I don't know. Star Trek Beyond, and Suicide Squad. And here's the thing. I'm not going to retract my vote because I feel like that would be cheating. I voted for Star Trek Beyond, But the only reason I voted for Star Trek Beyond is because I didn't think Suicide Squad had any fucking chance on winning. Even though I thought the makeup in Suicide Squad was better. And the motherfuckers, Suicide Squad got it. So if you'll give me the point, that means I've got 13 out of 24. If not, then it's only 12. Either way, it's cool. I mean, it's just one. But that was one that I really got mad at. Because I'm like, there's no way they're going to give it to Suicide Squad. I mean, really? But no, I mean, and they deserved it. The makeup on Suicide Squad was like by far the best thing about that movie. I mean, the visuals in that movie were fantastic. And what they were able to accomplish with the characters is great. Foreign language film. I didn't know anything about any of these movies. I voted for Land of Mine. It didn't win. The Salesman won. Cool, I guess. So here we get into the actors and actresses and the director and best picture. So we're here at the end. It's actually not taking as long as I thought it would. We're only 16 minutes in. Cool. So I'm going to eat my last Hershey piece. There were a few things I expected to happen. And they did. But this was one that, the one I'm about to talk about was one that I wasn't so sure about. I think I've talked about this in casting conversations a few times, once or twice. I can't remember. But Meryl Streep is my favorite actress. But if there's one actress, my second favorite actress is Viola Davis. My first introduction to her was in Doubt with Meryl Streep. And I paid attention to pretty much everything that she's done after that. And she just blows me away with everything. She makes me feel things on levels that I didn't expect. And she won for Best Actress in a Supporting Role. It was between her and Naomi Harris in Moonlight, Nicole Kidman in Lion, Octavia Spencer in Hidden Figures, Michelle Williams in Manchester by the Sea. And any of these women would have deserved it. I mean, honestly, Nicole Kidman broke my heart in Lion. Octavia Spencer was phenomenal in Hidden Figures. I ended up loving that movie more than I thought I would. And Naomi Harris was great in Moonlight with what she was able to accomplish. So I'm really glad to see Viola Davis win because, she just deserves it. She's a queen. She's one of those actresses, just like Meryl Streep, that when you give her a particular role or any role, she's going to blow it out of the park. I mean, even in a movie like Suicide Squad, where, the movie as a whole may fail to work on certain levels, she is absolutely breathtaking, and she brings a level to that character of Amanda Waller, or Wallace. I can't remember her last name right now. It's late. But she just brought a level to that character that was just phenomenal. I have not seen Fences. It was the one movie out of all the nominated ones that I didn't get around to seeing because life happened. But believe me, I will at some point. I definitely want to see the movie that got her the award. I voted for her because, like I said, she's my second favorite actress, so I kind of had to. Actor in a supporting role, we've got Michael Shannon for Nocturnal Animals, Dev Patel for Lion, Lucas Hedges in Manchester by the Sea, Jeff Bridges, Hell or High Water, and Mahershala Ali for Moonlight. Mahershala Ali got it for Moonlight, and he definitely deserved it. He was my favorite thing about the movie. I would have liked him to be in the movie even more than he was. But my vote was for Dev Patel and Lion. Again, Lion is kind of the same thing as one of the other movies that I talked about, where it was about My Life as a Zucchini. It was kind of a situation like that where I didn't know I didn't know anything about it, and I you know no I didn't think I was ever going to get a chance to see it, and then finally one of the theaters around me got it, and I was able to see it, and it's just phenomenal. It's just such a good movie. It broke me down on a level that I can't explain. I mean, there were so nor probably that I'm willing. I mean, it really touched me in a way that I wasn't expecting. It's my top. It's in my top three films that were nominated. It's just great. Um, but yeah, Mahershala Ali got it, and I'm glad. I'm glad that he got it because he's an actor that I've seen in a lot of different things. He was in Hidden Figures, and he was. I'm blanking. I'm sorry. Again, it's late. Forgive me. I've seen him in a lot of things, and I love him in everything that I see him in. Um, Actress in a leading role, we've got Isabel Huppert for Elle. I can't remember how to pronounce her name. Ruth Negga for Loving, which she was fantastic in. Natalie Portman and Jackie, which I did not see. Emma Stone for La La Land, and Meryl Streep for Florence Foster Jenkins. And Emma Stone took it for La La Land, and that's who I voted for. Um, I'm going to steal words out of John Campia's mouth if you watch Collider. This is definitely, and I have to agree with him, this was Emma Stone's year. If she didn't win, she was never going to, because this was incredible. She, no offense to Ryan Gosling, but she was much better in this movie than I felt like he was in the movie. I kind of felt like he was the mechanism to keep the story going for a lot of the movie. And again, this is not me, and that's not me I'm not saying that as a negative to the movie. Like, that's not me like, oh, La La Land wasn't good because blah, 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 blah. No, but that's what his character was in that movie. I felt like his character was there for her. That's why in the movie, when you're watching it, tiny spoiler, you're introduced to her and her journey first, and then you're introduced to him. And I feel like, yeah, I mean, yeah. So she nailed it out of the park with this role. Of course, I always feel that she does. My first experience with her, or whatever you call it, was with Easy A. And I've fallen in love with her ever since. I absolutely adore her and Crazy Stupid Love. She's just phenomenal. Um, then sorry. And then we've got actor in a leading role. We've got Denzel Washington and Fences, Viggo Mortensen, Captain Fantastic, which those two I hadn't seen. Ryan Gosling in La La Land, Andrew Garfield for Hacksaw Ridge, and Casey Affleck for Manchester by the Sea. So here's we're going to start talking more about Manchester by the Sea. I voted for Casey Affleck because I knew that he would win. I knew that there wasn't a chance in hell anybody else was going to win. I knew that. And I was right. I am happy for Casey Affleck that he won. He's a phenomenal actor. But I did not feel that his character in that movie was as groundbreaking as a lot of people think. And I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash for that, probably. I know I'm going to get some people that disagree with me, but I did not like Manchester by the Sea. I found it droll and boring. I found it slow, and there was nothing in that movie that made me care or feel sorry for anyone. There's a couple parts of the movie where it got close. I will give them that. There's a couple moments in the movie where I was like, this is going to be it. This is where it's going to just rip my heart from my body and just step on it, and I'm going to be a sobbing mess, and it's gonna just hit me. And it never does. I mean, even, you know, and even with that scene that he has with Michelle Williams, and if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. You know, like that's the scene that a lot of people were talking about, and it was all right. I mean, it was a good scene, but it wasn't one of these like crazy, amazing scenes to me. Um, so I guess what I'd say, I guess in short, what I'd say would be I'm happy for Casey Affleck that he won an award that a lot of people thought he deserved, but I wish it was for a role in a better movie. Because my problem is not that he won. My problem is with the movie that it's for. Because I did not think Manchester by the Sea was a good movie. I felt like he did the best that he could do with what he was given, you know? And I'm glad that that shined through and people saw that. And honestly, when it comes to Manchester by the Sea, I actually think the best performance in the whole movie was Lucas Hedges. He was the only character in the whole movie that I laughed with and I felt for and all of those different things. And so, again, I'm probably going to get a lot of flack, but that's just how I felt. Director. Best director. We got Kenneth Lonergan for Manchester by the Sea, Barry Jenkins for Moonlight, Mel Gibson for Hacksaw Ridge, Damien Chazelle for La La Land, and Denis Villeneuve for Arrival. I voted for Mel Gibson for Hacksaw Ridge, and I knew it was a dark horse from the very beginning. I knew he wasn't going to win, but if he did, I thought that would be amazing. And to come back with a movie like Hacksaw Ridge and to win, I felt would have been doubly incredible. Because I don't hate the man as much as a lot of people do, you know? You're never going to hear me say that the things that the man has said in the past are okay and that he's a saint and, or anything like that. But to hold a grudge against someone for something so long ago, and especially against someone that you may not even know, like I think of it like this, like if Mel Gibson had said those things or similar things like to me, then yeah, I mean I could understand it of like if Mel Gibson said those things to you, well then I can't blame you for feeling a certain way against the guy because the things he said was against you. But for the rest of us, it's like for us to be pissed off about it, it's like he is a human. He makes mistakes. Get over it, And he, whether you like him or not, he's a brilliant fucking filmmaker. And so I really wanted to see him win. But Damien Chazelle, I'm not going to say he doesn't deserve the win, because that wouldn't be true. What I will say though is he's a director that there's a part of me that feels like La La Land is like a one-trick pony kind of thing, because it's kind of like a one-hit wonder. And so I guess with that, if you're gonna win with a one-hit wonder, then La La Land is a good one to do that with, I suppose. However, I want to see if he can actually do it again. Do another musical. Let's see if it's just as good. Because if it is, then we've got somebody really special on our hands that knows how to make really good musicals and really good movies. So that's my worry with Damien Chazelle is I loved La La Land, but it was so niche that I worry. I worry about that. So now let's get to the last one. Best Picture. So all of the nominees are Arrival, Fences, Hacksaw Ridge, Hell or High Water, Hidden Figures, La La Land, The Lion, Manchester by the Sea, and Moonlight. So before I talk about the winner and the debauchery that happened, let me go ahead and tell you my top 9 for the nominees, so you know where I stand. Because I don't want to, like stop midway or stuff like that. My number 1 movie of the year was Hacksaw Ridge. My second movie of the year was Lion. Third was Arrival. Fourth was Hidden Figures. Fifth was La La Land. Sixth was Hell or High Water. Seventh was Moonlight. 8 was Manchester by the Sea. And 9, just by proxy, was Fences, just because I didn't see it. And I didn't feel like it was fair to put Fences above, in the middle of the list or whatever, because I hadn't, I didn't see it. But so you might see me post a new video with a new list after I see it. But that's my list. So Hacksaw Ridge and Lion were really the movies that I was rooting for, that I really wanted to win. And so on my sheet, Hacksaw Ridge is the movie that I put down. Even though I knew La La Land or Moonlight was probably going to be the ones that took it. When they announced La La Land was the winner, I was meh about it. I was like, yeah, figured this would happen. It's, it's whatever. Everyone kind of guessed that. So, cool, whatever. But then, just kidding, guys. Moonlight won, and somebody gave Warren Beatty the wrong card. And somebody's going to be fired. So Moonlight won. Moonlight won Best Picture of the Year. And here's something else where I'm going to get a lot of flack. And I'm going to set my paper off to the side because I don't need it anymore. Here's where people are going to not like me anymore too, because I did not feel as attached to Moonlight. I mean, that's why it's low on the list. Is because I did not connect with Moonlight like I wanted to. And here's why. Because I'm going to be honest, 50% in the movie, I was like, 50% into the movie, excuse me, chocolate bar coming back up, I was in love with Moonlight. 50% in, I was like, holy cow. I think that's about 50% in. I will say this, up until the point where he becomes adult him, I was into it. I love what they were doing with him, with the character as a kid, and I love what they were doing with him as a high schooler. But they made decisions with the character when he was an adult that took away from the movie for me. And the ending for the movie, for me, felt so ambiguous that it left me disappointed. Because had they given me something more substantial with the end, I would have been raving about this movie along with everyone else, because I could have forgiven some of the other choices and some of the other things that happened in the movie and all of that, because not every movie is perfect, And it really is true when you say that every single person in this movie was so good. Naomi Harris, Mahershala Ali, the kids, everyone in this movie just gave the performance of their life. But story-wise, I felt like, and I was so excited to hear that the character was a homosexual character, because we need more of these characters like this in cinema. And I got so excited for that aspect of it that I was disappointed. That's just all I can say. It's not a bad movie, and I don't feel the way that I do about it that I do about Manchester by the Sea. I just, like when Moonlight, if Moonlight is ever on sale for like, $10 or something like that, if I go on Black Friday and they're selling it for a cheap price, it's one that I would consider buying. Not over any of the other movies on the list. I mean, I would buy Lion ahead of it, and Hacksaw Ridge ahead of it, and all that kind of stuff, and La La Land ahead of it. But, you know, because Manchester by the Sea isn't even a movie that I would pay $2 for. And I'm sorry. It's like, if you would have gifted it to me so that I have it in my collection, then cool. I will take a gift. I'm not going to spend money. I'm not going to spend more than a couple bucks on it because I did not like the movie. I didn't like it. You know, um, I've spent the money on the movie that I've wanted to spend, and that's enough. Um, so yeah, so now about the debauchery. I am of the mindset that it was staged. I really am. Because, and here's the thing, because, a lot of people were talking about it online that I saw, and they were like, well, they don't think it was staged because you need you need a lot of like people involved to do something like that. No, you don't. In fact, it could have even been a last minute thing, you know, because all you have to do is give the wrong envelope to Warren Beatty. Like, if anybody knew about it, it was probably Kimmel. Um, it was it could have been his idea. Who knew? Who knows? I think the minimal most amount of people probably knew about it. Um, um, I don't even think Warren Beatty knew about it. I don't even think they knew about it. I think that's why, I don't think it was just him coming out and apologizing for show and all that kind of stuff. I felt like he wasn't even in on it either. But I do believe that there were people in on it. I do believe Kimmel was one of them. Um, and a big reason, and I might be reading into things, but a big reason why I think he was in on it is because of that kind of wink he gave to the camera at the end, the choice words he used to end the night on. I feel like he knew. Um, and honestly, I'm not butthurt over it. I actually, it took a moment that I thought was meh and predictable. It made it what, you know. So I didn't. Sorry, I keep thinking I see a bug flying around. It's been driving me nuts. But I'm this was a good year. I mean, even though not a lot of, even though only half won that I thought were going to win, this was a good year for the Oscars. This was one of my favorite years. I mean, last year was a really good year. 2013 or the 2014 year was a really good year. The year that we got Boyhood and on all of those. And the 2010 year was a year that I really liked too, because I actually got to go do the whole AMC thing in Orlando, and that's something that I really want to do again someday. Um, but I am someone, like I said, at, online, and I think I said at the beginning of the video, this is my Super Bowl. I mean, this is the thing that I look forward to every year, and so I could complain, and I'd be remiss without mentioning the In Memoriam. I was in an absolute wreck. I started becoming a wreck when they popped Gene Wilder up, and then once they put up Kenny Baker, I was pretty much just I was just done. I was gone, and I was a wreck. Once they pulled up Debbie Reynolds and then Carrie Fisher, I couldn't stop. I was gone. I was gone. Um, so that was the Oscars. It was fun. It was great. I can't wait until next year. What movies? I wonder what movies will be there next year. I wonder who will be nominated. We'll have to see by the end of this year. I haven't seen very many movies yet this year, but we'll have to see. So, if you've stayed until the end, please drop the video a like. Share it if you want. Comment down below on your thoughts on the whole show and everything that happened. Yeah, it was a very interesting night, but it was great. And I thought Jimmy Kimmel was really great as a host. I would love to see him come back and do it again. My only complaint with him as the host was I felt like that tourist gag Um, it lasted just a little bit longer than I would have liked. It kind of dragged just a little, just a couple minutes. Um, but I like that he did the show. Bring him back, please bring him back. Peace out, guys. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.